Today I would like to create a tag for my travel journaling box, which you can see here, using these little guys here, which I've made in my last video, and a piece of a digital printable paper. This comes from my MAGNOLIA Coffee Birds junk journal kit. And I would like to upcycle this Tim Holtz Ideology packaging to have a nice base for my tag. And at the same time, I would like to show you how I made these stamp impressions here in the background of my digital paper. These are stamp impressions which I made in Rome with the help of some clay. Hi there, this is Luise Heinzel. Nice to see you here today. I'm still working on my travel journaling box. It's still not finished, and this is a box where I want to keep my memories about my last holiday in Rome. If you have missed the other videos about this box, you can find a playlist linked below this video so that you can see how all of these things came to life. And this is meant as a loose collection about my trip to Rome. So yeah, let's create another piece and let's make a really fun tag using some things that we already have and some digital paper. But first, before I want to start, I would like to show you how I made these stamp impressions here. So let's go right into this. What you can see here is you can see me walking through Rome, searching for some places where I can get cool stamp impressions with the help of a piece of clay. I guess you can do this technique with any kind of clay, but I have used some Steamclay. That is a clay especially made for flexible pieces, which you also can use on junk journal covers, for example. This clay was made by Funkelkram. That is a German online shop. I will link that down below for you. This clay worked really well for this technique, but of course you can try it with other clay as well. The main idea behind this whole thing was that I wanted to take something from the places that I have visited in Rome and take that home with me. So a memory which is not only like a photo, for example, or a postcard or a piece of paper that I have found somewhere, but something really special that reminds me of all of those nice memories that I had there. So I came to the idea to take this clay and search for places where you can get a stamp impression without ruining anything. Yeah, that's something that I always had in my mind, because you know, clay is perhaps sometimes a little bit sticky and it could happen that there fall off some pieces. Do you know what I mean? And of course, I don't want to ruin anything in the city and get trouble with policemen or something like that. So I have searched for things that were mainly made out of stone or metal, on or next to the buildings that I have visited in Rome. And then I've just taken the clay and I've made it a little bit warm and flexible in my hands so that I could take this stamp impression. And I also had some archival ink with me. I have taken black archival ink because that is an ink which dries really fast and which is waterproof. So perhaps, you know, sometimes it could happen that it rains or something. And of course, I don't want to destroy my stamp impressions. I always had a little notebook with me so that I had blank pages where I could stamp on. And yeah, that's everything. I mean, that is a relatively simple idea, I would say, but it gave me a really, really cool thing, and that's all of those stamp impressions. That is such a big and massive memory for me, which is really, really cool to have. And also including that into my digitals makes it really special to me, because I always try to include things that can be meaningful for you as well when you buy that paper. I'm always trying to give you also some background informations about my paper so that you can understand what I thought or what I felt. Especially my emotions are important for this, I would say, when I made the paper. And I don't want to have just digital paper in my shop, but I want to have something special that has a meaning and that has a background. And I think I could reach my goal with these stamp impressions for this special set. And perhaps you are wondering why there are also magnolia flowers in this Magnolia Coffee Birds junk journal kit. You will also see in this video a really impressive magnolia tree, which I saw in Rome, and that is the reason why these are in the kit. I thought I want to show you this tree as well, even if the day where I saw it was really rainy. And yeah, in the video footage, perhaps this feeling can't come so well to you because the weather was so bad, but it was really impressive. I thought, how is that possible that a tree on such a rainy day can give so much positive energy and so incredibly massive memories? Always when I think about this tree, I'm like, how is that possible? It was so giant, and it was in front of a house that was a private house, and there have been really interesting things in the area in front of the house where the entrance is, and that was just such a cool combination because this tree catched my eye and I was like, whoa, what is that? That is so cool. And then I saw the house itself and I was like, okay, the people who live here must be really special, and I found a connection, even if I don't know the people who are living there. Do you know what I mean? And it was just awesome. Hallöchen und herzlich willkommen hier zu einem neuen Tutorial. Muss ich irgendwas sagen oder erklärt sich diese geniale Sache hier von alleine? Sieht es gut aus? Sieht ein bisschen anders aus als das Original, aber nicht schlecht, oder? Mhm. So, machen wir das wieder platt, unseren kleinen Hundescheißhaufen hier. Die Leute uns wieder ein bisschen blöd angucken. Und dann kannst du gerade auch dahin laufen und denen zeigen, von wo wir das genommen haben. Das habe ich nämlich vergessen zu filmen. Why did we do that with the little piece of shit-looking clay? Because this is the Via della Stamperia. Stamperia.
The Italian Stamperia.
You need to stamp here.
Stamperia.
Okay, so let's make the tag for the box. Since my holiday had a lot to do with Tim Holtz and Tim Holtz products, you have seen that in the other videos, I want to use this packaging here. This I have not bought in Rome, but this is sturdy and it's a Tim Holtz ideology package. As you can see, I always save all of my packages. I'm a little bit weird, but now today I want to use this, and I want to use that as a base for the tag. And the first thing, because you know, here, look, journaling space, perhaps I should mention that and say what I have thought about that. I mean, here is journaling space, and that is really cool. And this can stay here. so that is also like a memory for those things that had to do with Tim during my holiday, and this will be covered up later. And this material is also really good for something that I want to do, that is something similar that I have done to these little guys here. I want to have my tag relatively grungy on the edges in the end. But Tim, why is this so wide? This doesn't fit in here, as you can see. It's a little bit too wide. That is a general problem, obviously, with this box, but that is no problem. We can just cut that down. Also ich weiß es ja nicht, ne? Aber ich habe irgendwie das Gefühl, das ist ja jetzt schief, aber schauen wir mal. Holy moly. Okay, so that seems to work. That seems to work. Okay, wonderful. So next, I want to take this digital page here, and I want to decide for the piece that I want to glue to this packaging here. And the good thing is, thank you Tim, that this is exactly the height of the paper. So now I'm just taking some glue and I glue this down even if my paper is still too big, but this way I can just you know, cut off the excess later, because I know when I turn it to the other side how big the base is, and then I can just cut around. So I've just cut out this little shape here from this hole so that we have this here again, and I'm just roughening the edges with my scissors a little bit. That also helps to get this original shape of the hole back, because this is relatively small to cut out, and since my tag is going to become grungy, this is relatively good because it fits the style. Next, I'm going to take my scissors again and I'm going to roughen the edges here so that this gets really grungy on the edges as well. Then the edges look like this. And the next thing I want to do is I want to take my fingernail tool and I want to do something similar like I've done here. I will go in to the layers of this packaging paper here to separate them so that I get, let's see how many layers we can get from this. Ooh, that is a good paper, Tim. Thanks. 1, 2, 3, I think you can get 4 or 5 layers from this, depending on where you want to use such a piece. Make sure that you split this not too often, otherwise it gets relatively flimsy, but this is okay. This is just fine. It is still sturdy. So I will do that here as well, I think, and in some other spots, so that this looks really interesting. For this effect here, I've used some sprays, and since this is going to become my focal point of this tag, I want to use the same sprays for the edges here as well. So that is Distress Spray Stain Walnut Stain and Distress Oxide Spray Walnut Stain. And I'm also going to use some water. Where is my water? Ah, here. To give the ink the chance to move around here a little bit. I'm going to apply a little bit of ink to my table here, and I'm also spritzing some water so that this is not so intensive. this is empty. And then I'm dipping this in. And that doesn't work so well. But the reason for that is that this is so, you know, it's a bit weird. So I'm going to take a paintbrush to be able to bring that in there, and that way I can also control it a little bit better. I'm also going to take the pure spray and add some really dark accents here. Meaning this is now, you know, not mixed with water, and that way, of course, it gets way more intensive. And while this is still wet, I'm going to take the oxide spray, also walnut stain, and I'm adding just a few drops here and there so that we get this oxidized effect in some areas, and especially the color of the oxidation of walnut stain, so that it matches our focal point later really well. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to decide if I want to put both of these little guys here or only one. That is perhaps already a little bit too much, isn't it? What do you think? Oh, I think I want to go with one of them, because I think that is already enough. Another thing that just came to my mind is I have made these little guys. If you want to see how I made these, you can find a video linked below this video. I've used a stamp set by Tim Holtz and stamped that into the clay, and then I have colored that with alcohol inks. And now I'm just trying to decide which one I want to use. I haven't expected that this looks so cool here. I've just taken out both of these little pieces. These are just some things which I found in Rome. This is from a t-shirt that I bought, just a tag. Really cool, and I thought this, you know, could be interesting. And here it says made in Italy. Perhaps I could cut this off into some smaller collage pieces. This here is a package from an ice cream spoon, so I thought perhaps I can make some cool layering here behind this area where he is standing on this block. And this here. Do you know what I'm just thinking? This tag wasn't made in Italy. This thing says made in Italy. And I'm just thinking, this is also really big, so why don't I cover this up so that it only says in Italy? That makes way more sense to me. And that shows what I want to show here. I mean, this is my travel journal box about Italy, and this makes more sense as a caption, I would say. Whew, it's a coffee later and I still have no idea how I want to use this little thread here, but as you can see, I have prepared some other things that I want to use here. I have found this strange material. I got this in a Happy Mail a relatively long time ago, and I held that for so long in my stash, and now I thought the color would match this tag really well, and this is so grungy already without doing anything. I mean, I got this like it is. So I tried to cut out some of these wildflowers here, and this material is something like really thin wood. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah. And if you want to know where these flowers come from, They are from this die cut set by Zizix and Tim Holtz, and that is this flower here, and the number is 664163. So let's see how we can arrange these here behind him somehow. I have to put them to the very background, if that is a word, so that I can glue them down completely, but I think that should be no problem. Wow, that looks really good when it's so long. I haven't expected that. I thought this negative space is really important. I mean, I still think that, but I like this here. It's not so massive than I thought before, but what about this one here? Oh, there's a little left over piece in here. I have to take this out. Let's see, perhaps we can just make this work like so, and then this. Oh, I love the color variation of these die cuts. They have a really great contrast, even if they are made out of the same material. That is really awesome. And I'm realizing how fast I have decided where these wildflowers have to go for me, for my taste. And I've just realized that I normally need way more time to decide that. And I've just found out why that was here faster. Because this material, wood, in German, it's Holz. Do you understand? Holz. And you know, everything that has to do with Holz obviously is easier than without. Yeah. But it's a fact. Even if it's a little bit funny, it's a fact, isn't it? Okay, so now we have this. What to do with this? I'm not so sure, but I like this. And I want to have that somewhere. But how? And what if this would hang off from here, like so, a little bit shorter? I mean, why do we have this hole there? We could use it just to have this hang here. But is that too black? I think then I need a second piece of this somewhere here to balance that. That is relatively strange and cool at the same time, I think. Yeah, okay. Let me think about how I think that, how I like that. In this, I'm trying to get apart a little bit so that it's a little bit more delicate, whimsical. Don't know the right word, but you know, like so. I've just put a little bit of glue to the thread, and now I'm trying to get this below here with my scissors. So this is what this bottom area looks like now. I really, really like this. This is really cute, I would say. But this here, I don't know. That is still a little bit boring, isn't it? I'm thinking about a little charm or something, which I could additionally hang here. And I'm just thinking, a few years ago, that was not on my last holiday in Rome, but a few years ago, I bought some charms in Rome, and I will just check them and look if I have something that fits here. I'm such a freak. I'm such a freak. I just found this spoon, and I thought, I mean, this is one of the charms which I have bought a few years ago in Rome. And I thought this is cute because, and it fits, because this package here below this other scrap is from an ice cream spoon that comes from this spoon. And this I had in Rome and from Rome. Do you know what I mean? and I thought I want to hang this here. I already had taken out a bulb pin to, hang that there because, I have to attach it in some way. But when I have it there, I think that looks really weird because this is the only silver thing on the whole tag. And then I thought, that's how my brain works. I can't do anything against that. That's how my brain works. I thought, what is he doing in Rome? Because everything around here, I mean the paper and this little thing, it's Rome, yeah? But what is he doing there? I mean, he has to have a happy life, and I mean, he's smiling. What is he doing there? And then I thought, perhaps he is eating an ice cream. And he's so happy because he could make a break from his normal job and eat an ice cream. And then I thought it would be really cool to have the spoon somewhere here so that it looks like it's attached to his jacket. So I'm thinking just leaving this here like so and put the spoon here. But I want to ink that with some alcohol ink so that it's not silver anymore, because the silver, that it looks really komisch, that's German, really weird. I'm going to use some mushroom alcohol ink. Oh, why not? It's perhaps a little bit too, well, over here. It fits really well, so why not? I think that is not so bad, but it is perhaps a little bit too much. But what to do with this hole? I think I'm just going to use this tiny thingy here to attach that there. I will take my awl, find the position for the spoon, and then I will just poke a hole, hoping that the hopefully these legs are long enough to go through the whole thing. Oh, ja, ist Holz, seht ihr? Ist lang genug. Oh, I'm such a lucky girl. It's long enough, but I have to do it like this and then press this down. That is really good. So the last thing that I want to do is I want to splatter with some acrylic paint. This is just mixed with some water. I want to staple this little guy here to the top here, because look, we have 1, 2 of these things from this tag from the t-shirt, and with this we have a third one, and I think that is then more balanced. And what I also just realized is we have the silver here now again, and we have silver here. So let's take some mushroom ink and just throw some on there, just a tiny little bit. Nicht so viel, Luise. So this is my finished tag for today. I hope you like it, and I hope even more that you could find some inspiration for your own projects and for your own tags or your own journal pages. Of course, you could also use this idea and transfer it to a pocket or a belly band or some other embellishment or storage thingy in your journal. And this can now go into my box here. And later on, when I have finished the video, I will take it and journal on the back side here. So I hope we will see the next time. Have a very great and creative day. See you!